Good morning, everybody, and the warmest of welcomes to El Pinar Circuit. We are live from Uruguay, opening this Sunday packed of action in TCR South America in a very cold weather in Uruguay. The sixth round of the tournament. And here we are, about to enjoy race number one in this 3.1 kilometers track after we've had a tight qualifying session yesterday, Saturday, led by the duo of Honda YPF Racing. I'm talking about Nelson Piquet Jr. and Leonel Pernilla, fielding front row. As we have the grid forming up slowly for these new events, the new round. 9 Celsius degrees is the air temperature. That's 48 Fahrenheit degrees, and 19 Celsius degrees on track. That means 66 Fahrenheit. That is very, very demanding for the cars, as we have here the entry list updated with some newcomers. The return for former series title contender Juan Manuel Casella, replacing Fabricio Pesini for this event in W2 Pro GP. The return of Carlos Silva from Uruguay. The debuts for Tomás Fernández and Benjamin Hites, the Chilean driver that brings the flag back into the grid, following the steps of Javier and Martín Scuncio back in the time. And you have there the standings on screen. Leonel Pernilla leading for almost 100 points from Pedro Cardoso. Piquet Jr. in 253. 225 for Pesini, who is absent in this round. Rafael Reis might get into the top 4 with some good results. The people all bunched together in the cold with some mate, the very popular infusion in South America that has been spread around in all the world by Argentinians, Uruguayans, some Brazilians and Paraguayans too. El Pinar is our venue for this event, the one that hosted TCR World Tour twice in 2023 and 2024. And here, 2022 and 2023, sorry. As here we have Fabian Gianantoni heading into the grid, followed by Benjamin Hites, who had an incident. Oh, look at his rear, his front right. He's in trouble. Here is Nelson Piquet on screen, car number 33, the Brazilian driver, with a handful of races in Formula 1. Son of the 3 times world champion Nelson Piquet Sr., followed by Leonel Pernilla. Title contenders, both going for the crown. There's Nelson Piquet Jr. and Pernilla on the left side of the grid. Pedro Cardoso is there in third place.
Muy buenos días, buen día.
We'll hear from
en el autódromo Víctor Borrat Fabini en el justamente
grid,
autódromo del Pinar aquí en Uruguay,
right from
esta
the
segunda
Víctor
etapa en este
Borrat
hermoso país. Gran Premio Lubricantes ANCAP, Copa 85 aniversario de AUBO. Estamos en la grilla de partida. Lo
the
tengo
Uruguayan
a mis espaldas a
Racing
Nelson
Federation
Piquet
celebrating
Jr.,
its
tercera pole
85th
consecutiva para el piloto brasileño que va a
birthday.
buscar su primera victoria en la categoría y vamos a intentar
We'll try to
hablar con él
hear a
mientras
word
trabaja
from
justamente
Nelson Piquet
el
Jr.
equipo. Vamos a
as
intentar
the crew is
poder
putting the car
dialogar
down on
con el
its four
piloto
wheels.
brasileño. Permiso, abrimos. Mira, me baja el vidrio. Nelsinho. Importante, Nelson, largar desde la primera posición para buscar la
Nelsinho, it's
primera
good to
victoria en la
start from
categoría.
the front place to get the victory. It's always important. I have to do a good race. I have to have a good start.
3 pole position consecutivas, victoria.
3 pole positions in a row.
Cumpleaños, hijo en camino. Es un gran momento, Nelsinho.
You've celebrated your birthday. You have a child on the way. It's a very nice moment, yes.
Muchas gracias. Escuchábamos la palabra justamente.
I'm feeling really, really well, says Nelson Piquet Jr. speaking to our pit reporter Mariano Colombo as he will head into Leonel Pernia's car with 40 kilos of compensation weight, as he explains.
Nelson Piquet está hablando justamente en este momento con el jefe de equipo, con Seba Martino. Algunas palabras de aliento, a ver si le puedo sacar.
Speaking with Sebastián
testimonio
Martino, the team
a Leo
director.
Pernia, que está largando desde la segunda posición. Leo, venís con 40 kilos de lastre contra los 20 en el Ciño.
Leonel, you are on 40 kilos of compensation weight. The rivals have 20.
Sí, ni hablar. Vamos a intentar dar todo por el espectáculo.
We'll try to give it all.
Y por ganar la carrera. Agradecido a todos los amigos uruguayos.
And I will try to
que,
go for the win of the race. I want to thank to all the people in Uruguay for the warm welcome to us. We hope they enjoy the race, says Leonel Pernia speaking to our pit reporter. As we have the 16 cars on the grid now. And we fly now here through the starting grid. You see Pernia, this is Cardoso. We now have all the cars going through. By there was Thiago Pernia, Juan Manuel Casela, Rosso, that's Benjamin Hites, Rafael Reis, Carlos Silva, who will start race number 2 on pole position, the driver from Uruguay. His countryman Joaquín Cafaro, who was very close to getting to the top 10 yesterday, followed by Adrián Chiriano leading the TCR Trophy regular drivers like Mariano Cotter. There is Tomás Fernández on car 11 making his debut. Enzo Gianfrati, Mariano Pernia demoted to the back. Of the grid with an engine change after struggling yesterday in qualifying. We have a very cold morning as the grid is lining up. In 5 minutes time we should start the race. We are about to start the race. As we have Pedro Cardoso there starting the race from second row next to Fabián Gianantuoni in the near side of the screen on car number 5, the blue Lincoln Co. Behind him is Juan Manuel Casela. Here you have the grid lining up. As now it's time to go with the starting lap. We'll have a full view of the starting grid Let's find it out. It's Nelson Piquet Jr. starting on pole position for Honda YPF Racing, followed by his teammate and standings leader Lionel Pernilla on car number 44, the 49-year-old from Argentina. Pedro Cardoso, the reigning champion, is starting in third for PMO Racing, the team that is fielding 3 cars in this weekend. Fabian Gianantoni is starting in fourth with the Lincoln Co. for Paladini Racing, followed by Thiago Pernilla, who made it up to 5th place in one of his best qualifyings of the season for Honda YPF Racing. Juan Manuel Casella, in his return to the series, starts in 6th place in a W2 Pro GP Cupra, followed by Juan Angel Rosso for Paladini Racing, driving his Lincoln Co. number 16. In 8th place, we have the newcomer Benjamin Hites from Chile, after some strugglings in a qualifying yesterday. Some incidents. He starts in 8th. Rafael Reyes on 9th. 10th place for race 2 pole sitter Carlos Silva, who is back in the series also after some one-off outings in the past. Joaquin Cafaro in his second entry for the PMO Racing Peugeot. Adrian Chiriano in 12th. Marianien Cotter slowly picking up the pace in TCR Trophy. 13th place. Tomás Fernandez, another of the debutants. 14th. 15th is Enzo Gianfrati for Port Hack Racing. And in 16th and last is Mariano Pernilla. Absent at last minute was Luis Ramirez from Panama, who could not make it to Uruguay in the last minutes. As the formation lap is here. Here are the cars heading into the Gonzalo Rodriguez turn, named after that extraordinary racing driver that was surfing through his path into Formula One in 1999, when he was already about to switch to a full-time entry in the American Champ car. He passed away in Laguna Seca in 1999 on September 11 in a qualifying session. A huge icon in Uruguayan sports. As we have now 3 rows lined up. 4th. There it is. Now, the whole grid lined up. You have Nelson Piquet Jr. on car 33. On the right side of the screen, on the left, is car number 44. Lionel Pernilla. The wind is blowing really heavily in El Pinar. The green flag is waving in the background. And we will go race to Uruguay as the lights will form up. And then we will go racing. 5 lights, and we go racing Uruguay. It's a good start by Lionel Pernilla, taking the lead of the race. Cardoso wants to challenge Piquet for second position as they head into turn number 1. Piquet holds on to second place as they go through into turn 2 and 3. Pernilla taking the lead of the race, and this is a big twist in the future outcome of the tournament, as he's once again ahead of all his rivals. Cardoso remains in 3rd place as they go through into the new turn number 6 of this track in a quite tidy start of the race with no incidents in sight. The 16 cars going through. Turn number 7 is completed as they head into this turn number 8, which is the newest part of the track built for 2023 when the TCR World Tour visited Uruguay. Pernilla leading from Piquet Jr. and Cardoso is in 3rd place, the reigning champion in the Peugeot. Now they are coming out of turn number 10 and heading into the oldest part of the track as they go through into the back straight, as there's the battle between Rosso and I think it was Rafael Reyes in the Cupra, side by side. As here comes Pernilla to complete the first lap of the race. Piquet is in second. Cardoso, Gianantoni remains in third, and Scafaro, all late braking by Cafaro, just missing the clash, just missing the contact. The Uruguayan just standing on the brake pedal, but still avoiding the contact and remaining in the race. As the cars go through into the first lap, Cafaro remains in 8th place in a very risky move, but still keeping himself alive in the race. Piquet chasing closely Lionel Pernilla. We'll see how the compensation weight plays a part in this race outcome. Piquet is very close to Lionel Pernilla. Therefore, we might have some battle between the teammates throughout this 25-minute plus 1 lap race. Remember, Leonel Pernilla comes with the full compensation weight of 40 kilos. Nelson Piquet Jr. is on 20. That could play a part. As you see that the top 4 are slowly pulling away from 5th place, which is Juan Manuel Casella, the home driver, the home hero, followed by Juan Angel Rosso. Thiago Pernilla dropped back to 7th from 5th on the grid. Joaquín Cafaro is in 8th place, ahead of Reis and Carlos Silva. Pernilla closes the line on the braking zone. Piquet wants to go through the outside and then see if he can get a better speed in the outcome into the main straight. Cardoso is also having a close look at the top 2, which are starting to battle each other for the lead of the race. The top 4 separating a bit from Casella, who is in 5th place, as we said. Piquet keeping the line behind Leonel Pernilla, but I think this smells that some good battle will rise up in the next laps of this race. We're enjoying TCR South America, round number 6 from Uruguay. My name is Francisco Aura, and it's an honor to be with you for this contest as we see Pernilla keeping behind Nelson Piquet Jr. Pernilla's Honda has been really consistent throughout all the season, even with the full compensation weight on his shoulders, but still, this is not looking that comfortable this early in the race. There we have another gap from Casella and Rosso, and then we have behind Thiago Pernilla leading Cafaro, Reis 7th, 8th, and 9th, and then we have another gap until 10th place, which is occupied as far as now by Carlos Silva. Mariano Pernilla already made it 5 places from 16th and last on the grid to 11th place, knocking the door of the top 10, as there is once again Joaquín Cafaro holding Rafael Reis, the Uruguayan defending from the experienced Brazilian driver. Cafaro in his second outing in the series, as there is Gian Antuoni going through for 3rd place, challenging Pedro Cardoso into turn number 1. I think he will prevail, and no, Cardoso holds on to 3rd position, braking and defending firmly from Gian Antuoni, but still we have 0.3 of a second, nothing between Pernilla and Piquet. Here is Cardoso, followed by Gian Antuoni in 3rd and 4th place. Pernilla and Piquet are 1st and 2nd, very, very close together, the teammates. Cardoso survived after that first attack from Gian Antuoni. There is a big gap from Reis to Mariano Pernilla, who has overtaken Benjamin Hites. We'll see now if Pernilla can get closer to Reis. Let's see now, with some clean air and no traffic ahead, what's the pace that Mariano Pernilla can print after swapping the engine. That forced him to the back of the grid. And then looking for some more pace. Piquet breaks into the outside. Pernilla had to dive into the inside in this braking zone in turn number 12. Gonzalo Rodriguez turn as they head into the main straight to complete one more lap. Piquet is really bothering a lot on Leonel Pernilla as they complete the 4th lap of the race. The last lap was 121.0, and it's the best lap for both Pernilla and Nelson Piquet Jr., who set to 120.9. There you have the lap times on screen. Piquet holding Pernilla very, very close. Just 0.2 of a second is the gap. They can't be any closer in terms of time gaps. There is Cardoso in 3rd, remaining in 3rd. Gian Antuoni in 4th, and Casella in 5th. Casella doesn't seem to have any trouble yet, keeping Juan Angel Rosso behind. Thiago Pernilla is in 7th, and Cafaro in 8th, ahead of Reis, as Mariano Pernilla will possibly start to pull away after overtaking Benjamin Hites. That is Sebastián Martino, the team director and team owner of Honda YPF Racing, the team that was known until last year as the Squadra Martino. As there is Piquet trying to have a look at the inside of Leonel Pernilla. It wasn't enough to try an overtaking attempt, but still also helping the temperatures of the car. As you see there, battle between Casella. No, it's Rafael Reis who overtook 2 cars. He overtaken Cafaro and now Thiago Pernilla, as Piquet keeps on attacking on Leonel Pernilla. Yeah, Reis beats 2 cars in the same lap. He overtook Cafaro and Thiago Pernilla. Now climbing up to 7th there out of the 3 cars. Reis in the black Cupra, Pernilla in the blue Honda, and Cafaro in the Peugeot, with that big Uruguayan flag painted on the hood. Also, Reis might be going for more gap. He has a gap until Juan Angel Rosso, almost 2 seconds, and he will for sure try to close it. Rafael Reis set the quickest lap of the race in the last lap, 1:20.87. "17 minutes remaining. There is Lionel Pernilla. Piquet attacking. They are now pulling away from Cardoso in 3rd. Casella will go for 4th place over Gian Antonio. Late braking by Juan Manuel Casella, and he moves up a position. The Uruguayan now will chase Cardoso for the podium. Gian Antonio wants to recover. He had some good acceleration coming out onto the main street, and Gian Antonio will strike back for 4th place as we are completing almost the first third of the race. Casella battling with Gian Antonio side by side into turn 1 and 2. Nice battle, and Casella prevails, breaks and prevails over Gian Antonio into turn 3 and 4. Good driving by the home hero that TCR South America did really miss in the last months. A strong contender for the title as Thiago Pernilla had to head into the pit lane. 16 minutes. And now we have 9 minutes completed of the race. Lionel Pernilla keeps leading, but of course Piquet is becoming a nightmare for him. And look how Juan Angel Rosso is now right ahead of Rafael Reis, who managed to close the gap. Reis is very quick after overtaking some slower cars he had ahead. There are Piquets and Pernilla, Cardoso in 3rd, Casella firmly in 4th, Gian Antonio in 5th, and then Reis already battling with Juan Angel Rosso. He will go for 6th place too, as Thiago Pernilla had to head into the pits with some temperature issues in his car, as Reis is now up into 6th position after overtaking Juan Angel Rosso. Reis firmly running 2 consecutive laps in 20.70. That's really strong pace from Rafael Reis in these early parts of the race as we are heading into the middle of the race almost already. There is Juan Angel Rosso back in 7th, Cafaro comfortably in 8th after that early moments in the race, and Casella attacking for Pedro Cardoso for 3rd place. Here comes Mariano Pernilla also trying to close the gap. One of the quickest drivers on track apparently. Last lap was 1:21.4 to 1:21.8 from Pernilla to Piquet. Here is Adrian Chiriano leading the TCR trophy. As there it is. Now the battle. Casella, contact with Cardoso. Casella almost sends Cardoso off the track, and he has to set back, and that is advantage taken by Gian Antonio, who is back in the battle for 4th and 3rd too. Almost, dangerous contact, very dangerous. Gian Antonio had to head back into the track as he was heading straight into the wall and almost produced that very serious accident with Cardoso that was so risky on the very limits of the track, and that was very dangerous. That was so scary for a moment. Things have gone well, thankfully, but here are Pernilla and Piquet battling. Cardoso in 3rd, Casella back in 4th, Gian Antonio in 5th, and now Reis and Rosso are right over them. As here we have the car now of Gianfratti is off the track, and we have a safety car. Race is neutralized. Heavy crash. That's a heavy crash by Gianfratti. It's Enzo Gianfrati there as the doctor car arrives to check on him. And of course, we'll have a replay of what happened. Now the race has given us a break, but it was getting very, very intense. We'll hear from Tiago Pernilla now.
Con Tiago Pernilla, que tuvo que abandonar. Tiago, ¿qué pasó con el auto?
What happened, Tiago?
Una lástima, la correa de la hidráulica se salió.
An hydraulic problem.
Me sacó el volante de las manos y
One of the
paré,
strings that's
empezó a levantar temperatura. Y
made me
nada,
lose control of the car, and
que salvamos el
temperature
motor,
was
salvamos un poco todo. Pudimos
rising.
pasar tiempo
We
y
saved the engine from breaking.
Pero una lástima. Venía
It's a
sintiendo
shame.
que caímos mucho en el ritmo, no teníamos ritmo. Por ahí
I was feeling a big drop anyway in the pace.
¿Cómo viviste la largada? Ya estaba en primera posición, Leo.
Sí, sí. Siempre
How did you
mirando
see
lo tuyo
the
y
starts?
lo de mi viejo también, ¿no?
Yeah, I was watching both my and my dad's car.
Moví
I
muy
started
bien
well.
y empecé a patinar al final. Perdí.
And then it
perdí
slipped a
con
little bit.
Juanma. Pero nada, después veníamos y como te digo, sin mucho ritmo. Y lo bueno que viendo al viejo que viene primero.
Muchas
And
gracias.
well,
La
and
palabra
now
de
I'll
Tiago
cheer for my
Pernilla.
dad in first place, said Tiago Pernilla. We'll have a replay. Look at this. Casella hitting into the very limits of the inside, and then is Cardoso about to lose control. And there is the replay also of 10 and 20. And we'll see what happens now with both Lionel Pernilla and Nelson Piquet Jr. as we see the replay of the start of the race from the back. The race is neutralized under safety car. We'll see if there is any team order to remain as they are or free racing allowed for both of the Hondas. Of course, that's something that Pedro Cardoso would like very much to happen. Needless to say that results would be more than interesting for them. As we have Adrián Chiriano leading TCR trophy from Carlos Silva, from Tomás Fernández, behind are Mariani and Cotter, and of course knocked out of the race Gianfrati, alongside Tiago Pernilla. We had two retirements. So we have one more lap with the safety car as the lights are still on. Eight minutes remaining on the clock as it's ticking down to 0. We had no replay yet of what happened with Enzo Gianfrati. And there is the replay in the first lap. Cafaro braking very hard, not to crash on Juan Angel Rosso. Very fancy Peugeots with the Uruguayan colors. Seven minutes and a half we'll have on the first race of TCR South America. We're expecting to have Carlos Silva starting from pole position on race number 2. Remember, the top 10 reversed the order from the qualifying session. Pernilla leading the race from Piquet, Cardoso in third, Casella in fourth, Gianantuoni in fifth, Race in sixth, Rosso in seventh, Cafaro in eighth, Mariano Pernilla in ninth, Hites in 10th, Chiriano leading TCR Trophy in 11th, followed by Carlos Silva, Tomás Fernandez and Mariani and Cotter, the 14 survivors in this race. Here we have this replay from Casella on Cardoso. That was very dangerous. As we still have the safety car on track, ticking down the clock in these minutes. We hope for a restart soon. Last 5 minutes, and we hope we had some raising. We have some raising. Of course, the temperatures will drop down in both the tires, engines, as now the pack is forming up. And now we will have a restart as the safety car has switched the lights off. And here is Leonel Pernilla about to resume the race. Rafael Reis battling with Gianantuoni, trying to prepare the overtake maneuver as soon as possible. And we are racing once again in Uruguay. There is Leonel Pernilla leading the way from Piquet and Cardoso. Both the top three are trying to separate themselves from fourth place Casella. Piquet still attacking Pernilla, and this will be a copy of what we saw in the early part of the race, I guess. There is Reis overtaken. Juan Angel Rosso was trying to take him off from fifth place, but still things are as we restarted the race. Now it's Rosso battling when Joaquin Cafaro wanted to overtake him for seventh position. Cafaro has the inside line in the next braking zone, and this could work for the Uruguayan. Yes, it does. In a bumpy section of the track, in the newest part of the track. Pernilla leading the way from Piquet Jr. Cardoso in third. Casella comfortably sitting in fourth place without any big problems. Oh, Tomás Fernandez has crashed the rookie. And I think that this could lead to another safety car. We hope not, but it could happen. And now it's Cardoso trying to overtake Piquet. into the main straight. Cardoso attacking the second place driver on the battle for position number 2. This is really appreciated by Pernilla, who might open a bit more of gap towards the end of the race. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Yes, sir, we have a safety car again. And I think this could lead to the end of the race under safety car. Tomás Fernández has had a big crush. There it is. The youngster feeling really ashamed inside the car. Here we see a replay. That's the contact. Oh, it's a contact between Ninkoter and Tomás Fernández. Oof, that was a heavy crash by the 22-year-old rookie from Argentina. It's a big crash from Fernández, and this will be a big challenge for Palladini Racing if they want to take part in the race, in race number 2. Big damage in Tomás Fernández's car. Let's see if the roll cage suffered anything or the rear axle, as that could be crucial to see if he has a chance. As we have the last seconds, and if this means safety car, I think we'll end the race under safety car. Safety car is trying to bring the race ahead and see if they can leave one last lap of green flag. I doubt it will happen, as also Leonel Pernilla, as long as he doesn't break the rules, he can handle himself the distance to safety car, and if he wants to be slow to tick the clock down to 0, he can do so. And if that helps to reach 0, yes, if the safety car doesn't leave in this lap, we will have a checker flag under safety car. We have 2 laps remaining. There they are, the whole pack heading into the last straights ahead of the turn 12 that puts us back in the main straights. And if the safety car doesn't turn off the lights now, no sir, we will finish the race under safety car, as safety car is on track and we have 2 laps remaining. There it is. Last lap, and we will get a safety car finish. In El Pinar, Leonel Pernilla will take the victory ahead of Nelson Piquet Jr. and Pedro Cardoso, who survived the attacks of Casella and Gian Antuoni. Final lap, and Leonel Pernilla will win this race, no matter what happens with the safety car. Here are our 13 finishers. We had retirements from Thiago Pernilla, Gian Frati and Tomás Fernández. 13 cars will finish the race. There is the final order for this race. And the checker flag will come up. And it's over in Uruguay. Leonel Pernilla takes the win ahead of Nelson Piquet Jr. Pedro Cardoso heads into the podium. The race is over in Uruguay under safety car. Perhaps not what we would have liked, but it is what it is. Leonel Pernilla is our winner, followed by Nelson Piquet Jr. 1-2 for Honda YPF Racing once again. As now the cars are heading into the pit lane, and Adrian Chiriano wins again in TCR Trophy also. Once again, Chiriano prevailing in the lower division. And here is the final results. Leonel Pernilla ahead of Nelson Piquet Jr. and Pedro Cardoso into the podium. Juan Manuel Casella fourth in his return to the series. Fabián San Antonio in fifth. Rafael Reis, Joaquín Cafaro, the Uruguayan, in his best results. Juan Ángel Rosso, Mariano Pernilla, and Benjamin Hites in his debuts. Followed by Adrián Chiriano, Carlos Silva, and Maria Nienkotter, the 13 finishers. Race that couldn't be finished by Tomás Fernández, Enzo Gianfratti, and Thiago Pernilla. Here comes the winner to the Parc Ferme. Here is second placed Nelson Piquet Jr. Pernilla celebrating. And soon will arrive Pedro Cardoso to third place. There he is. Here is Pernilla celebrating with his crew. Celebrating with Thiago, his son. It's a big win for Leonel Pernilla with some really good consequences in the battle for the title, as he once again finishes ahead of all his rivals. Some local reporters capturing moments. We'll hear from the winners and podium finishers soon. This is Pedro Cardoso, who finished in third. We'll hear from him.
Pedro Cardoso, tercera posición en una carrera con un resultado importante. Está difícil ganarle a los Honda.
Good results, but it's difficult to beat the Hondas.
Bom terceiro lugar. Assim,
Yeah, it's a good third
parece
place.
que é chato, parece que é choro nosso, toda corrida ficar falando isso. Mas são 6 corridas, 6 pole position, 6-1-2 na classificação. Acho que é a
They say it's tight, but 6 races, 6 wins, 6 pole positions.
Mas
They have great drivers,
é muito superior.
but their car is much better.
Falar, pode ser chato, pode parecer choro, mas está claro. Eu acho que a categoria tem que fazer alguma coisa em relação a isso. Mas,
I would like the series to do something.
Mais pódio. A gente não vai desistir, não vai baixar a cabeça. E
We won't give up.
La
We'll
palabra de Pedro
celebrate this
Cardoso, el
podium,
actual
but
campeón de la
it's
categoría.
really
Lo
difficult,
recibimos
says Pedro
ahora
Cardoso.
a Nelson Piquet Jr., que está llegando en la segunda
I
posición.
don't want to
También lo
sound
tengo a
like
Leo,
crying,
pero
says Pedro
primero vamos a
Cardoso.
hablar con Nelsinho, que ya está llegando. Nelson me responde en portugués. Segunda posición, no se pudo dar la victoria, pero se siguen sumando puntos importantes.
Sim, é uma carreira, uma largada que não foi boa, então
My start wasn't good.
infelizmente muito safety car na prova e não pude, perdi um pouco de tempo para
We had safety car,
primeira colocação.
Obrigado, muchas gracias Nelson Piquet Jr.
but
Y
it
ahora
wasn't
sí lo
enough for first
recibimos
place, says
al
Nelson Piquet
ganador de la
Jr.
carrera, que ahí se saluda con
And
su
we'll hear from
compañero
Lionel Pernilla
de
also.
equipo. Y lo tenemos a Leo Pernilla, una nueva victoria, largando desde la segunda posición. Ya no sabemos si te conviene largar primero o segundo, Leo.
Muy bien. la
We
verdad que otra
we
vez
don't know
muy
anymore
buen
if
equipo.
it's better to start in first or
Muy
second
feliz
for
con el
you.
resultado.
I am very happy for
Tanto
the results.
por el ritmo del auto que tenemos que trabajar para la segunda final.
We have to
La verdad
work
que
for
el
the
equipo
second
viene haciendo un
race,
año fantástico.
the pace, but the
Mi
team is working
felicitaciones
really
a todos los
great.
chicos del
I want to
Escuadra
congratulate
Martino,
them.
a todos los amigos de Honda IPF Racing, a los amigos de Ocasa, de DirecTV, a los amigos de Santander, de ADOC, todos los que están en el auto, a los amigos de Crossmaster, a todos porque hacen
Thanking his
empujan al
sponsors too.
equipo. Es un grupo humano muy lindo, muy fuerte, un equipo que presenta muchos autos y estamos en un gran nivel. Y
A
obviamente
team that
en el
works
ciclo
really hard
que
with many cars.
todas las carreras que hemos corrido este año nos hemos entendido como dos buenos compañeros de equipo que somos.
La palabra de Leo Pernilla, el ganador de la carrera número 1 aquí en el Pinar. Y ahora lo recibo a
It's a
Adrián
clear
Chiriano,
picture of who
ganador
we
por
are,
la Copa
says
Trophy. Adrián, una
Lionel
linda
Pernilla.
batalla también con Carlos Silva, con el local acá para quedarte con la victoria.
Good battle with
Sí, la
Carlos
verdad
Silva
que
to
vi que él venía
get the win.
un poquito enredado, venía de más de cola.
Yeah, I
ahí
saw-
en un hueco que pude, lo pude pasar. Y bueno, me vino bien porque
He
él
was
iba reteniendo
struggling with his rear,
a
so I
Gianfratti y al
managed
resto,
to
pude hacer
overtake
una
him.
luz. Bueno, después
I
se
could
compartió todo con el auto de seguridad.
pull away from Gianfratti, but
pero
then
bien,
safety
teníamos
car
un
put
buen
everything
equilibrio del
together.
auto. Quizás nos falta que deslice un poquito más la cola. Teníamos una pequeña fallita que seguramente la vamos a solucionar. Pero bueno, muy importante los puntos de esta carrera para nosotros que estamos peleando la trophy. Así que agradecerle a todo el equipo de Seba Martín, al Honda IPF Racing, a Víctor Lugos que está acá, a todo el grupo de trabajo, a los sponsors, a todos los que me acompañan, a Meli, a todos. Muchísimas gracias.
Adrián Chiriano, el ganador por la Copa Trophy.
Said Adrián Chiriano, celebrating his win, thanking his team for the efforts. And look how the standings are. 104 points from Pernilla to Cardoso now. And we'll have the podium soon. Here we have Carlos Silva, Chiriano, Pernilla with jacket on, Piquets, Mariani and Cotter.
Es un podio sin Indianápolis. Claro. Con la bandera cuadro, ¿viste? Claro.
They don't seem that happy, the drivers on the podium. There we have Cardoso in third. Leonel Pernilla there, and El Senior Piquets in second. As we see all the people who came in the pit lane. Third place trophy for Pedro Cardoso. There he is, lifting the trophy. Ricardo Juvanova, president of ACU. Trophy for Nelson Piquet Jr. And it will be time for the winner, Leonel Pernilla. The trophy handed for the winning team. And there is now the full podium. And it will be time for the champagne and the celebration. And it is the wrap-up for this race. We'll have there is now the TCR Trophy podium about to be put on. Mariano Encotter in the red suit. Carlos Silva in the Uruguayan flag with the Uruguayan flag on his shoulders, and Adrián Chiriano, the winner. Trophy for Nian Cotter. By local sponsor, Directive Washington Mina Capilli. Trophy for Carlos Silva, celebrating with his home crowd. And the winner is Adrián Chiriano. And now the champagne for TCR Trophy 2 will go on. And there is the celebrations going on. We are 2 hours ahead of race number 2. As we have here the final standings once again, Leonel Pernilla won ahead of Piquet Jr. and Cardoso, followed by Juan Manuel Casella in 4th, Gian Antonio in 5th, Reyes in 6th with the fastest lap, Cafaro in 7th, Rosso in 8th, Mariano Pernilla in 9th, and Benjamin Hites ahead of Chiriano, Silva, and Nian Cotter, the TCR Trophy podium. And here is the best of action in this race number 1. There's Cafaro braking hard to avoid a contact. And it's a wrap from here from Uruguay, ladies and gentlemen. We had a very good race. And now we will switch to race number 2 in 2 hours' time. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll leave you with the best action of this race. My name is Francisco Aure. It's a pleasure. And see you back in 2 hours for race number 2 from Uruguay. Thank you and see you soon.